Before I begin, I want to share some of my favorite traveling quotes. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page, by St. Augustine. Traveling is the only thing you can buy that makes you richer, Anonymous. An investment in travel is an investment in yourself, by Matthew Christian. Traveling is one of the most amazing things you can do in your life. It gives you a different perspective about life, the world, and yourself. Traveling can sometimes be expensive. A flight to Europe can cost around $1,400. Thus, it is a viable option to consider our neighbor country, Mexico. Mexico, one of the 15 most beautiful countries in the world according to roughguides.com, is a touristic paradise like no other on earth. My beautiful country has thousands of reasons to become your next holiday destination. Among the 1,000 reasons, I chose the top 3. Activities. Mexico is not only tanning hot beaches all day long and drinking tequila all night long, however you can do it. Culture. Mexico's history is divided in 3 periods: pre-Columbian Mexico, New Spain, and contemporary Mexico, making Mexican culture a blend of 3 worlds. Security. For the last years, Mexico has been portrayed as a place to avoid for security reasons. I will inform you about the reality. Since almost every known ecosystem is found in Mexico, there's no other country in North or Central America that offers so much for travelers. Everything from tundra to high sierra to rainforest, where authentic experience awaits. Also, Mexico is filled with unique parties and traditions all year long. Mexico, being a country which relies on tourism, offers the best touristic activities and services. Next, I will introduce some of the most unique experiences you can live in Mexico. Nowadays, the International Balloon Festival in Mexico is the most important event of its kind in Latin America, and one of the most famous worldwide. El Día de Muertos, the Day of the Dead, a Mexican celebration, is a day to celebrate, remember, and prepare special foods in honor of those who have departed. Sótano de las Golondrinas, the most beautiful open shaft cavern in the world, and the free fall drop of more than 1,200 feet. Cumbre Tajín promotes, preserves, and strengthens the Totonacan culture, which has become a World Heritage. Blue whales love Mexico just as anyone, and return each year to the Sea of Cortez. Just off the world's second largest coral reef, Cozumel Island in Quintana Roo, is a bit of pure heaven, with gentle sparkling currents, millions of colorful fish, and a brilliant sun. Or try the Yucatan inland routes and underground rivers called cenotes, the perfect break from the peninsula's intense sun and heat. All water sports can be practiced here. However, our country's shorelines are famous all over the world for hosting some of the best places for surfing in the whole world. Dive and even lay hands on magnificent, tranquil whale sharks. Mexican culture is so diverse because of its amazing history. Its unique culture reflects in its landscape, clothes, and food, all around this beautiful country. To understand better the changes Mexico has suffered during its history and what you can find by visiting Mexico, I will give you a small summary of its history, while showing some of the wonderful places you can visit. More than 3,000 years ago, this first civilization in Mesoamerica blossomed on a fertile land south of the Gulf of Mexico. There, the Olmecs pioneered a civil, military, and religious organization that would spread after evolving to young cultures in Mesoamerica. The Maya, Purépechas, Huastecos, and Aztecs, among others, formed local empires whose vestiges can be traced in Uxmal and Tajín and the main temple in Mexico City. Their stunning ancient cities were part of a commercial and religious system with staggering through partial development in science. Spanish conquerors brought European traditions to the land and imposed a new religion on its people. From that violent fusion, New Spain emerged as a thriving new culture. Inspired by French Enlightenment revolutionary ideas, 300 years later, Miguel Hidalgo started a 11 years war, which finally brought independence from Spain. Invaded by the United States and France, the new nation of Mexico faced into the 19th century fighting for development while defending its territory from upcoming economic powers. President Benito Juárez initiated a period of stability and growth. Porfirio Diaz conciliated the modern Mexico, but the purists paid the price. Democracy, land, and freedom were the flags for a revolution. In 1910, military governments ruled the country during the first half of the 20th century. In the 21st century, Mexico is still looking for a place on the international stage. Mexican food has also been affected by its cultural diversity, making it the only cuisine on the world representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity by the UNESCO. In the recent years, Mexico's image has been affected by drug-related violence. Drugs are a big problem in Mexico. However, how much of it is real and how much of it is exaggerated? The U.S. State Department in Washington issues warnings about Mexico. Yet, Washington, D.C. is 4 times more deadly than Mexico City. Washington's murder rate has been cut almost in half in the last 10 years, but it still averages 24 per 100,000 versus 8 to 9 per 100,000 in Mexico City. How do you suppose the U.S. State Department would feel if the Mexican government posted travel warnings for the U.S. capital? Why is Mexico shown in a negative light? There is money to be made by sensationalizing violence. Drug cartels launch graphic attacks to secure and protect their turf. Media firms hype stories to sell more ads or magazines, and powerful politicians have an interest in slowing the growth of Latino voters in the US. Each group enhances perception with ulterior motives. The reality is simple. If you are in the drug trade looking for trouble, you can find it. If you are visiting Mexico's touristic areas, you are safer than you are in many US touristic areas. To conclude, among many other reasons to travel to Mexico, its wide and unique variety of activities is unmatchable. That ranges from extreme sports to watching a balloon parade to a 3,000-year-old traditional ceremony. Learning about its history is fascinating as well. Mexico City is the city with the most museums in the whole world, over 141, where you can learn about its social, political, and economical heritage. Over Mexico, there are over 1,400 museums where you can see the present and the past of Mexico. In addition, there are dozens of archaeological sites and magic towns frozen in the colonial era. And finally, violence is not an issue, at least not more than anywhere else. More than 150,000 Americans safely visit Mexico every day. And while the media sensationalizes stories of violence in Mexico, Mexico is safer than many major US cities. Travelers feel relatively safe visiting popular US cities like Miami, Philadelphia, Chicago, New Orleans, Washington, D.C., or Atlanta. Yet, each of these cities is statistically less safe than Mexico. Thank you for your time. I hope you're going to visit Mexico someday. As you can see, you have all the reasons to do it. And I can assure you, you won't regret it. Thank you very much.